the last part of our program for today, and that is the 90 seconds presentations of our members.
These are our 10 selected artists. They're going to present one after the others. There's going to be time for questions afterwards. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the jury who selected them, Anwerp, Clive Adams and Beatrice Blanche. And yes, I would leave the word to them. We start with Spain.
Good afternoon, dear friends. This is El Arreciado, a family think in Spain with land, water, forest and wild animals. Ecological farming where the sheep graze among sculptures. Artists from around the world come to do residencies and work on projects. In spring, the International Wool Symposium, working with newly sewn wool. Summer is for the Women and Clay Symposium, to experiment with all the possibilities of this material. Autumn is the best time to work with stones while you can hear the deer calling in their mating season. Poetry in winter, sitting round the fire or walking to read poems hidden in faraway corners of the farm. For 26 years, we've been hosting an all-night bell concert. Our guests listen to unique music under the stars. So this is a paradise where I live and also develop my own artwork. I welcome artists who want to investigate and experiment with or in nature. Thank you to Sculptor Network and thank you for your attention.
My artwork serves the primary aim of reuniting elements that are apparently opposites, and in doing so, to create a larger whole. Pairs of opposites like mass and space, full and empty. In case of the granite monolith interior space, which can be walked into. Pairs of opposites like above, below, heaven, earth, in the sculptures titled Metaphysical Landscapes, Transition and Embrace. All of them are made from natural granite boulders. A further group of works shows signs of human presence in the settings of man-made landscape, elements such as houses, stairways and bridges, and also their forms in negative worked from the stone. These elements are joined by still or flowing water. Opposites like hard and soft, positive, negative, civilization and nature. My wish is, may nature and human being continue to be aware of their common source. Thank you for your attention.
I would like to tell you about my current investigations concerning my works of art. As you can see in the pictures, my works are often site-specific in a natural environment. This term, site-specific, is often used in art speak. It refers to an artist's intervention in a specific place, creating a work that is integrated with its surroundings. Now, what is intriguing to me? Groups of animals, like flock of sheep, schools of fish, swarms of bees, it doesn't matter where they are located in the outdoor area. It always looks good. They fit perfectly in their natural habitat. They form a fascinating spectacle, either because of the immense numbers of animals of the same species, either because of the organization that becomes visible in the movement of the group, or because of the aesthetics of the endlessly repeated patterns. It always is site-specific. In my works of art, there also often is a repetition of parts. But what will happen when I give nature itself, like wind, rain, or animals, the opportunity to move parts of my work? What will happen when I give the public the opportunity to move parts of my work? What will happen to the integration of the place and the aesthetics of my work? That's what I try to involve in my art.
My approach to landscape and nature involves what I call active land shaping. Land shaping is about the ambiguity of nature and landscape as man-made structure. I imagine landscape as a model. Even the holes have to be formed and dug out so that thoughts can flow. Open shapes suggest construction and destruction at the same time. Site-specific installations raise questions about the function, history, and material elements of a place. When strolling through landscapes, things appear, attract attention, and impress by their form and function. Visible cuts and gaps subtly inspire new interpretations while drawing our attention to existing things. Phenomena like mountains, trails, a slope, or a glacier are transformed into temporary constructions showing fragile moments within an atmosphere of light and beauty. Snow and ice become sculptural statements, creating a sheer balance between culture and nature. And while glaciers are melting, we might be lucky to run across a lost chunk cramped on their bridge at Interlaken.
I love to be outside and I'm interested in cycles. I enjoy to get my hands dirty. My art is tactile and sensual. My work changes over time and season, starts to bloom, and decays. It also differs according to time of night and day. People can become explorers and experience my work with all their senses. I'm inspired by nature. And I'm curious how my work evolves every time. Under certain circumstances, the process becomes manifest in a permanent form. And yet often it just vanishes.
Hello, I'm an artist and I use objects to make sound behave in a strange way. Now this has been done for many years. It's been used in churches and it's also been used to locate enemy aircraft in the 1920s, as you can see from the image there. And the way it works is that sound could be considered like particles. It bounces off a surface and they can get focused at the centre. It's making a hot spot. And actually what it is waves. So here's a interesting Dutch academic I speak to every now and again, showing you how the pressure waves get bigger as they get more towards the centre. And here's how, and we use this to navigate our way around spaces in complicated spaces in town. Of course, you can't use the phone very easily, but it also surprises you as well. So if the sound appears to be coming from the wrong direction, here's the sound mirror in the middle of London, we're putting sound in the wrong place, people get shocked, as in this exhibition. Where's that sound coming from? People are saying, what is making the space, what is making us behave the way we are? And then it makes, if you put something interesting on the sound, on the audio, people might reassess where they are and what they're looking at. So for example, here we have Durham Cathedral. We've got audio about the cathedral, about Durham, about its history, to do with mines. People are trying to locate the space. Here somewhere in a place called Osterley Park, big house in West London. It's all about people's touring, people's experiences of history, both young and old.
Hello, my name is Bert Schoeren from the Netherlands. I'm a kinetic sculptor and I make sculptures that move by wind, water, Or nowadays I make solar mobiles that move by the renewable energy of the sun. This is Alliander in Duiven. It's a big company, an energy supplier in the Netherlands. There work about 2,000 people, and I made a huge solar mobile there. It's a kind of moving chandelier containing 150 acrylic pieces with solar panel, electronics, motors and propellers. It's 10 meters high and 9 meters in diameter. And it's a kind of organism which has been plagued by the sun. At night it sleeps, in the morning when the sun rises it comes alive. During the day it's alive, it's swinging, and when the sun sets it's getting quiet and goes to sleep again. It's a kind of instrument that's been played by the sun. You can feel the rhythm of the nature, you can feel the rhythm of the weather, the rhythm of the day and the rhythm of the seasons. I always aim for non-predictable movements. You can watch and it's never boring because it's never the same. A moving sculpture influences the atmosphere in the room in a positive way. And these are moving stalks, also moving on solar energy. Thank you very much.
Art in nature for me is freedom. Every material is good enough for a new intervention. And my studio is the biggest you can imagine. It includes the landscape of 5 continents. My main focus lies on transformation, this process where destruction and construction is the same. I'm working between chaos and order. Oh, what was this? To Anwerp, I came from 2 sides. As a traveling photographer, I started in the late 70s to change things in front of my camera. And as a sculptor, working with a chainsaw, I used to work in situ all the time. I'm a graphic designer working 3-dimensional, and I'm a sculptor working for photographs. Sometimes it's hard work, but I can say I'm lucky. I had the chance to bring everything together. My passion for art, for traveling, for wood, for tools, and for life close to nature. Thank you.
Hello? Water is a thin line between here and there. Water divides, makes a border. Water bridges the gap. Water offers a change of perspective. By crossing the river, the inhabitants of the city across find the initial border to be a new possibility. Water and fire, opposing qualities. At the end of the day, the light of the burning candles withheld darkness. Overnight, nature transformed radiant warm light into killing fields, an unexpected transit from life to death. Water is the source of life, and yet we cannot live in it. We cannot even walk on it, unless it's frozen. Ice immobilizes water into stiffened mirrors, like death immobilizes a human being. The project visualizes the meeting of life and death. What seemed a limitation is in fact all-inclusive. Also, this work expresses a meeting of 2 extremes, light and reflection, sight and insight. The thin acrylic shades us from overexposure, shelters from heat, giving us distance to reflect. Something that functions as a dividing line connects 2 opposing worlds. All nature acts according to plan, as we do. Our brain is larger than our life. Though the world may seem a labyrinth while in it, remote in space and time, from the other side, we recognize the patterns, we can see our lives in perspective.
Good evening. Don't panic, I'm the last one. My name is Lars Waldemar, and I'm a sculptor living at the Danish west coast in a town called Urs-P. It's situated right where the modern sea starts. When I look at nature, I of course see the same as everybody else. So the first step is fascination, but I cannot stop there. I have to find out why things look natural, so I try to find brickstones or building blocks that make things look natural. Based on my observations, I create my works as a sort of synthesis, selecting these impressions I want to make a part of my works. It's not important for me that they actually look like my observations. I actually combine several observations in my works, so I get an interesting artwork, that's the option. For my works I use both natural materials or traditional materials for sculpture, but also all kinds of other materials like plastic and industrial materials. I do this because I like to experiment and to underline my use of sculpture as a comment on, on our recreation of nature. Thank you.
I want to thank all the artists of Sculpture Network who's shown how a great variety of the works have and how nature can inspire to very different approaches, from showing actually effects like working with fire or fireworks or mist, fog, but also recreating nature, like our last artist from Denmark showed, by observing nature and then reinterpreting it in your own forms. And also using solar energy, which is of course a very new way of approaching or going into the stone, like Rainer Vest, or giving a platform for artists to work in this fantastic ranch in Spain, where they have the wool workshop, which I thought, wow, I still would like to go there and then listen to the concert of the bells that you make. I mean, each of you really have a very outspoken way of working, and I think we should give them applause.